everyone! On the 17th of September, it had been the 7th year of me moving from Germany to New Zealand. And I thought it might be a nice idea to actually just do a mini episode about my changes, my updates, and how life in New Zealand has been treating me over the years. First of all, I'm very, very grateful that I was able to still be here and live in New Zealand and have a permanent visa now. The visa update for all of you who are interested is that I'm currently on my permanent resident visa, and next year I will be able to apply for citizenship. And since Germany allowed dual citizenship last year in June or July, I would be able to have a passport of New Zealand and Germany, which I would be actually quite keen on having because it makes my travel life a lot easier. And I would be able to travel to Australia, for example, without needing a different visa. So it has some perks, and of course I would not give up my German passport since it just has been ranked as the third most powerful passport in the world, so I would not want to give that up. But funny facts are that I will probably move for the 7th time within New Zealand and even within the same city, Hamilton, since I came to New Zealand. Due to the flooding situation that often happens here, unless you have a lot of money and you can afford living in a house by yourself, you will probably experience a lot of movements around flats and share places with other people, sometimes make friends and sometimes have bad experience, and that's all part of it. For me, I am used to the fact now that moving around is quite common, even though I wish I could settle a little bit more, because that's kind of where I see myself, a little bit more settled in one place, calling it home rather than having to move from one house to another. But everything has its pros and cons. So in that case, little fun fact, 7 times in 7 years. Also, what I found is that a lot of friends that I've made here are internationals, and a lot of them are moving places as well and moving countries. So quite a few have left Hamilton to move to the South Island, to other cities in New Zealand based on new job offers or just preferences to be closer to the ocean, or to Australia, which is a very common trend. Quite a few also decided to travel in Europe or just explore the world, which I of course highly recommend as well. So this has been an aspect that I have noticed over the years, which made me quite open to embrace change more. I haven't been a person that has been dealing with change well. Like, I usually would find myself getting quite anxious with a lot of change around my life. But especially the last few years taught me that change is inevitable and it will happen regardless. So I might as well stay positive and open towards it and just see it as new opportunities and possibilities rather than changes that might impact my life in a negative way. And I guess because those are big changes, saying goodbye to friends all the time, moving around myself, changing houses, it is really helpful because it definitely helps me getting over my anxiety and just get out of that comfort zone as well. So that's a little update on that. Since I'm here, it's a quite personal note, but I have been entering 2 relationships since I came to New Zealand. And fun fact again, it still has not been a New Zealander. Being introduced to different cultures also results into not necessarily dating someone from New Zealand. What also is important to me, what I've learned over the years here in New Zealand, is that for me friends are very important, and as said, a lot of friends have moved away as well, but it is good to expand your circle, to be open to get to know new people, to be welcoming. And also what I've noticed is that with my podcast here, I have entered a whole new community. And since, for example, the podcast has grown a little bit, and also I've met a lot of people through the podcast in podcasting spaces, but also around media, radio, and all sorts of interesting people coming together at those meetings and at those summits. I have also been introduced to the Free FM 89.0 family in Hamilton, which now is also broadcasting this podcast on their radio channel, which is such a great honor and also so much fun, and again introduces me to new people and another community, which is great. Like, I'm very grateful for that, because community is really what makes life in a different country easier. Having a community, having friends, having like-minded people, and enjoying life with the hobby you have or the things that fulfill you. So this has been going really well for me here in New Zealand. I can say that I still fully enjoy living in this country. It has good days, it has bad days, good weather, bad weather, but all in all, I'm very grateful and still love the nature, love going out, love driving around, going on road trips. And what I've also noticed is that homesickness is sometimes slightly going away. I also have been able to go back home twice last year or this year, once for Christmas and then in May again, to first of all celebrate Christmas with my family, because I haven't been able to do that for the past 6 years, and also to celebrate 2 weddings of my dear friends back home that I did not want to miss. So I was very fortunate to be able to put together the funds and also get the annual leave or unpaid leave from my job that I was able to go. And also another fact, I have been in my second job since I came to New Zealand. It is still in science, but also a little bit of a different environment. And I'm also very grateful that I have been able to work in New Zealand, because coming as an immigrant or even expat just, it's not always a given to have a job that A, supports your visa, and B, keeps you going and makes you stay and makes you permanent. So also I'm very grateful for that. So reflecting on my journey to come to New Zealand, I do not regret anything. I have noticed that I have collected way too many clothes and things around again. Once you come with only a backpack and your essentials and the real necessities, you notice you don't need that much. But now I accumulated so much more stuff. I have too many clothes. I have a lot of little knickknacks, how we say in German, like dust collector. So every move also gives me the chance to actually get rid of stuff that I don't need or that is not important to me. Maybe donate it and give it to someone who might find joy in it, and just realize that not everyone wants to live minimalistic, but coming from a backpacker's mindset and realizing how little you actually need to be happy, it does help a lot to free your mind from possessions that sometimes can keep you emotionally attached to things. So sometimes it's good to declutter your closet, your place, and therefore also your mind. So that's definitely helpful. Homesickness in general, I feel like I have been dealing with it pretty well. I have moments where it's harder. I have moments where I miss a lot to be there. I miss out on things like celebrations, even though I have been back to celebrate 2 weddings, but I still miss out on beautiful things like newborn babies in the family, or seeing other children in my family grow up, or maybe even other people's weddings, because of course I can't go to all of them. So those are the hard moments that I really struggle with at times, and especially if loved ones are passing and you can't be there to say goodbye, or you can't be there for the funeral. those moments to be close to your family when you need them the most, when it's emotional and all you need is your mom's hug and the family support. This is when it's getting harder. And because New Zealand is so far away from Germany, this is always going to be my biggest thing. But otherwise, I create a life that I really love here in New Zealand. I have great friends. My friends from back home are still in touch with me frequently. I stay in touch with my family. This is a beautiful country with beautiful people. And I am, as said, very grateful that I was able to stay that long and can still continue living here. This is my mini update about my life in New Zealand that I really, really enjoy, really love. And I also love the person that I became and that I'm still becoming, because I will keep changing and hopefully growing and putting myself out there in new, scary situations. So again, what I want to achieve with this podcast is to either be relatable, to share stories that are common, that help you learn something new or help you maybe even tackle an issue or solve a problem, or just help you get out of your comfort zone or make you actually get that courage to move overseas yourself, travel more, say hi to that stranger, open up your mind, and also just, be really respectful and kind to one another. So I hope something will come from it for you as well, and that this podcast might inspire you, motivate you, or whatever you can take from it. So thank you so much for listening again. Bye.